forever.
The most ballers I've seen in a game easily this weekend.
I mean, I don't think we saw this many ballers in Europe when they were at 300 health. Europe has an affinity or like a particular hatred towards ballers rolling around.
We've made comments in the past about how they always seem to be fans of taking shots at players that are in ballers on the move when they have an opportunity to. Maybe a follow through here, the back-to-back, can't quite find it. But yeah, look at how many are left out on the field. This is a very rare sight for European qualifiers.
I mean, and it kind of compounds on top of itself because the more players who are in ballers, they aren't going to take shots at each other. And if you're not going to waste shots on baller players, you're not going to eliminate them. So, but once the explodes start coming out, that's when things get dicey because the RPGs can damage through the ballers, and with the 150 HP, one AR round into them, and then followed by an RPG can be a ton of damage. But now Hill is just going to go to work, ignore the ballers on the low ground, running around like they're a game of marbles, and he finds Trockley, and he finds Elocrats right after.
13 players left. Still in the rotation here, taking a chance to pop a mini. Does have the campfire, may or may not put it down. Not at this point. The Storm's too close to his back. He's going to have to push forward. Like you said, multiple ballers are still in play, and with players not jumping out and not having pressure applied to them, you're looking at way less than 11 people. The player count remaining, that's not the number that are actually forced to engage each other right now. The people in ballers are almost being ignored. The heavy snipe from behind, and Mavjo picks up and Elim, the push inside. He realizes look at how many people are around in the same box.
And then said everybody goes up to the sky. No Elim coming out there. So all of a sudden, 3 up, 7 down. Talazeto on the ultimate high ground. Wesley Nutt and Blackso on the low ground. Jag, ADX also on the mid tarp. Talazeto looking for shots. Has redeploy and the flint knock. Not going to find any. So ultimate high is going to be in his control. 10 players left, but he gets challenged.
One more all the way in the high ground. Just barely lost it. The flint knock flying up above. What a play. Takes the high ground back. Has ultimate high, looking down from above, only 29 builds. Has the redeploy to catch himself if he has to jump off, if he runs out of materials, but we'll see here in a second.
Somebody else just went up.
Yep, you heard it. There it is, the fish flying past. Felizito might take a shot. The flint knock kind of gets stuck in his own box for a second. This ADX dropping in Mexi from Loot Boy. In the middle of your screen there, Tolzito still has the high ground, drops down to the next tarp. Mexi building out, trying to stay in the safe zone. This is the most players we've seen in a zone this tight in a long time. The Rift.
That's one. Is one player up in the rift. So you have one player up in the sky. Talazeto on ultimate high ground. Power, Psyches, and Blackso down the low. You have Talazeto in your top right. Power in your bottom right. Talazeto looking for it, and he finds Mexi out of the sky, and he gets the Cypher. Now he's dropping down with the redeploy, looking for Psychic on the campfire, and he finds it. Gets the siphon, and it's enough to put him over the top for the victory royale. Talazito, you are mad indeed. The 2 Elims being the swing. 12 points there. Well done, sir.
The transition of the shot with the flint knock midair into an immediate descend, the redeploy to catch himself, and then the swap to the TAC AR and spray through the build while the player was sitting on top of both campfires. 200 IQ.
That was really well played from Talazeto. That's probably some of the best overall flint knock usage we've seen. We took high ground, I think, twice.
You did.
Going there, and then additionally picked up a sick Elim on the player out of the air with that heavy shot, and then dropped down. I mean, just well done.
Literally, you were saying he was unchallenged for high ground, immediately got challenged, and then used the flint knock on a single build out to take it back and force the player to drop. Well played. Well played indeed. What a loadout for the late game, too. Anyway, 43 players left. Next game, Europe.
42 players left.
42 players remaining. I just shouldn't say it sometimes. Looking for 41 players remaining here in a second. Someone trying to pick up another one. That was the first elimination for this player this game. By the way, quick reminder, 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. If you would like to queue in, you're in the European region, now's the time to do it. Those last couple in. This is the last week for solos to qualify to punch that ticket to New York City. Don't forget it.
And after that, there's no more solo spots. 8 more players will be advancing from Europe. We'll have 6 from NA East, 2 from NA West, and 1 coming out of Brazil. And then the solos competition will be completely rounded out. These are the final moments. Again, don't forget, we will go a little bit longer than the queue times because the average game of full Fortnite is about 26 minutes long. So need to let everyone finish up, get all of those results tallied in, because every single time it's going to come down to the last match of the server, those top point lobbies. And right now, Motor is trying to make a case to get into one of those lobbies as he's sitting in this cone looking for a peek 42 players remaining, so again, everyone playing absurdly safe. Nobody wants to put themselves at risk, and Motor recognized that, trying to pile in on that player as Paquito and Freck get taken down, and we have our top 40, Tohaj, being taken down as well, and we're still 14 players away from the first placement threshold.
Get into the first full move circle here in a second. Circle 6 to 7, transition to the northwest. It'll be an interesting one, too. A number of players up on top of a hill. You see in the mini-map there, that left side based around the supply crate on the map. Holding the edit here. Motor trying to look out and see if there's anybody that might squeak out. He's looking back immediately behind him. I don't know if he realizes the player up above has an RPG. Oh, he does now. If he didn't before, surprise, there it is. A quick attempt. And the seal off, the close off of the edit there. Quick reset, well played from whoever that is inside.
Yeah, I just saw a nightmare situation where he had pushed out right after that for the shot and just accidentally stepped in front of the heavy sniper bullet. Now you can see that storm surge turning on right there. Motor more than fine, 502 above. Might regret popping that shadow zone since had a community launchpad placed right next to him, but he's...
Oh, I don't think he regrets it anymore. Honestly, Sundown, I think he's pretty happy about how that turned out. What a shot on rotation. A quick 180 in the combat to the dome. Picks up an elim. Sundown's mouth is literally sitting open. You can't believe what he saw. That was ridiculous.
But one thing that players might not be aware of, he bunny hopped right there to get maximum distance. So what that is spamming your jump button right as you hit the ground to get a little bit of extra horizontal distance. And it carried him past the player. So he 180 and one hit him with the combat. That's what I talk about when, like, sometimes I feel like these guys are playing a different game than I am.
Oh,
yes, I know for a fact I could do all of those things.
That's not Fortnite. I don't know what that is. That's not Fortnite. That's some craziness.
It's nuts. These guys pushing the envelope, but Mongrel, speaking of pushing the envelope, not going to pull a Mitro on the dual partner there. Opens the door, gets over onto the side, and is desperately looking for every point he can. Doesn't want any interaction if he can avoid it. Will he find it? 2 HP? And he does! Motor gets taken down. 26 players remaining. Mongrel, that could have been your moment in the box. 2 HP. Erosi gets Aki. That's 2 more points going over for him. That could be huge. That could be it. And now Mongrel on the side of the zone, back up to 75 HP. What can he do with it? Will the siphon in the mats be enough? 70 materials on the side of the zone. 24 players left. Less than 5 minutes left in the queue times. If you want to go to New York City, you show up right now. And unfortunately, Mongrel is out. Let's see if he can get another queue as the rest of the match is now running. Provoked up on the high ground. You see Stompy, Martez also hanging out. Martez trying to take the high ground away, but SV Alman is up there as we hit the second placement threshold. Top 15 now.
Stompy picking up another elimination in the feed. Provoked at 3 eliminations from Fnatic here. Stompy picking up actually another one. Stompy absolutely owning the feed. Provoked trying to box up, stay alive, very edge of the zone. Takes the chance, an opportunity to pop that slurp and get a little bit of a tick. He moves forward, trying to top off the HP. Players fighting underneath him, looking for a chance to establish a base of operations on the move here. And it's going to be difficult. Does get the mini off, though. Looking for players from behind. Very common tactic here. You get into a safe area where even if it might be 3-4 meters, catches someone in the face with that combat shotgun. You look for any chance for a quick whip back, anybody moving in from the outside of the storm, because they're the ones that they're forced to move in. You can't sit out there. And so even if you have 3, 4, 5 feet ahead of them, you can look back and get a shot off and pick up an elimination. 40 seconds left on that European queue. Get in those games if you're going to try and get the last ones in. Quick edit, a peek through. Cubex gets tapped one time, very low. Now you have to remember there's a 60-second window after that damage where if storm damage maybe claims that player gets an elimination, it's going to count for provoked. Dropping in here, 8 players left. Quick swap, shot, back to back, and MQ goes down. Looking for another, players underneath on rotation. Quick edit down, a push in, finds another on the outside. One more, looks for another, gets it. Stompy gets another. 3 eliminations, the triple in the feed, and there's 3 players left. Provoke on the ultimate low ground right now. 1 mini pop, moves all the way to the edge, pops.
First
campfire down.
He's getting pressure from both sides now, and this is the top 3. Can't find the shot. It's AIM Cubex who gets it. That's 52 points for Provoked. And again, each one of these elims, each one of them matters more when you're in these high points lobby. Martaz on the high ground, Cubex on the low ground, 39 to 49 points. Martaz wants to close this out. 27 builds to the 0 of Cubex, and that's going to be it. Martaz closes that one out. 43 points so far. Queue times are closed. The last matches will be coming in, but for now, we're going to throw it back on over to Courage, who's in the studio.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yes, that is it for the Qs out in Europe. You see how dramatic it can be in these final moments. We still have more games to bring you. We want to make sure you get caught up to speed on those exact last matches, but I know, Zeke, we've had some things you were taking a look at that you want to show everyone at home.
Yeah, man, let's do this. We've got some cool clips as we make our way into the station. Just some really fun clips that I wanted to take a moment to talk about. Wolfsies, of course, just had a dope flick shot. Look at that, over on violin, and just absolutely incredible. This is the level of skill. And I just want to highlight his rifling skills and just the way he approaches this fight. He knows the players down below, no builds, and you can just see he's using that brick floor, just ducking behind, making sure it's absorbing as much damage as possible. Airwalks. This is someone for me that I truly believe, and I want to see go to the World Cup Finals, especially with the last opportunity. Him and his duo partner Nikov have already qualified in duos, right? We even know his other teammates, Kinsar and Hunter, have also qualified. The difference is that Kinsar right now is the only member from Solary that is qualified for the solo format, and Airwalks is looking to do the same. We're going to watch this incredible spree. Just look at the way he's navigating all this density, right? His game sense and his awareness is on point. He's going to pick up 8 elimination total in this run. Now, unfortunately, he does not end up getting the Victory Royale, but just look at this. He's unbelievable. Once he gets going, it's very difficult for him, for anyone to stop him. Now, we're going to see his untimely demise here. He is going to go and try and challenge a player. He's going to pick them off, and he does get traded back out. Now, keep in mind, though, he did make top 5, so he still got the points from that. Now, Tolecito, we saw this incredible play. I thought this was incredible because he used the flint knock to shut down Mexi up on the high ground. And then just look at the HP from everyone else. He has HP advantage. He's so confident. He's just going to dive down and try and go for the challenge. Even if the player had traded out, he would have been in a pretty good state either way. So it was a pretty good game for these players. I mean, it's finals day. You know everyone's showing up big, making plays.
Insane right there. To have the confidence to drop on down, redeploy. But, guys, I'm not going to hold this up. We've got our final games from the European region. Who will make it to the Fortnite World Cup Finals? Let's find out.
Thank you so much, Courage. Also, just want to give a shout out real quick to the guy running the AR wall. Whoever picked the screen that was right there, the way the 2 lines lined up with the black floor.
That was actually
it looked, I was sitting here and I'm like, all right, that's a cool shot. So, you know, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. We give a bunch of love to the observers. Give him some love right there. Great screen. But now we're on board. Again, these are the absolute final matches. Queue times are done. We are in Europe, 8 spots up for grabs for the Fortnite World Cup Final. This is your last opportunity. If you are one of the best, you need to prove it right now, or you will not be on that stage. You won't be playing with Tfue, with X2 Jordan, with Stompy, and 6J, trying to make a case for being there as he picks up Zegrin and then gets on his rotation.
Absolutely ridiculous. Between games there, while everybody was watching the quick replay analysis, Sundown and I were talking about the different regions and just how certain aspects of each region stand out, and I think it's unanimous agreement that Europe has some of the best technical Fortnite and some of the most aggressive play that I think we've ever seen, and it is so much fun to talk about and so much fun to watch because these players are playing on a level that I don't think you have to imagine back in the day when Fortnite was, you know, it was the battle royale portion was in its, you know, early days. No one imagined the game would get to this. You can't possibly have said, oh yeah, one day we're gonna watch players, you know, the technical skill and building and quickly editing and dropping in through floors and pushing walls and doing all these things, everything that they do. No one would have imagined it was going to come to this, the quick edits and push through Kais and picking up the first Elam. It's things like this. You could not have told me this is what Fortnite was going to evolve into. And you have to admit, whether you love or hate the game, no matter what you think about it, how things have changed and grown is fantastic to see. People are really pushing the technical skill that I think Fortnite has to offer in a way that no one could have predicted.
I mean, it's actually absurd to me, and like I said, I've been able to be a part of the process from playtesting through all of this.
You've been around since the beginning.
Yeah, I've never would have fathomed that players were doing this. I think one of the first things when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's good because you can be aggressive because you can like build at someone in your own cover. You don't just like hide behind a wall and stuff. And now it turns into, instead, these guys are building literal tunnels and mansions and skyscrapers in the span of 2 seconds. I think one of the plays we saw yesterday with the player, one by one, threw a trap down, edited a ramp, and shot all in the span of 0.2 seconds. So I'm like, all right, you're playing a different game than me. Yeah, right there. Sky taking away Yarkos' ceiling with a single shot, double replaces it, double edits down, and then pushes in the space of nearly a half second. And he gets it 50, or I was about to say 57, but 60 points now as the top 15 does
literally just
take over. The player gets taken down, and Sky is creeping up into that qualification range. Again, top 8 players will go, and this is the last shot. How they earn the points: top 25 is 3, top 15 is 5, top 5 is 7, the victory royale is 10. Each elim is 1, and Skype certainly knows that. He's been playing absurdly aggro. If he hits you, he wants to go.
You saw for just a second in there a quick attempt at maybe a heavy sniper shot, but he realized it wasn't loaded, opted back to try and push through the ramp instead. Very quick thinking on Skype's part, the swap out for the combat shotgun instead of the tac. Pretty common there, player looting inside, but Skype more focused on rotation and position, as placement points will be everything for a player that is this close to making it to New York City.
That was so good by him to go around the back side of that building so he could extend the shadow bomb timer up to now get up to the mid tarp. You have Light up on the high ground, 13 up Nay, now just dropping down on the tarp below Skite. So Skite is on secondary high, but he's boxed up right now. Light's going to begin to work top down, as we still have a number of ballers who are going to begin to get shot out as we head towards the second placement threshold. Kinzo gets taken down there, and Light continues to rain shots down onto these ballers, saying, hey, you got to play Fortnite with the rest of us. Burn your mask, get out of there. Top 15 is on the board. John22 on Twitch picks up Calzo. Uno OG goes down, and Light continues to check his top, make sure he's safe, and then rain shots down. Dalo gets taken out as we get closer and closer to the top 10.
12 players remaining. Light still ultimate high ground. Skype right underneath. And I believe I saw for a moment Benji Fishy was in this game, but it looks like he's been eliminated at this point. Kaizen on the ultimate low ground, going to have to take an opportunity to heal up if possible. 9 players left, and Light is looking for a peak shot on a player in rotation, trying to challenge potentially the high ground. The pyramid of the play underneath kind of signals to me maybe not pushing up just yet, and I think Light realizes that, taking a chance to look down at maybe other players in the move, and yeah, he sees another one. There's a scent of potentially elimination. Light getting challenged for high ground now.
It's Rafty. Rafty's going for it and then drops back down, realizing he's not going to be able to take it. Pops the shadow form and goes all the way down to the far side. We're nearing the top 5. Now, one thing to keep an eye on, look at the points next to the names. 56 on Light, 64 on Skype. This is for a trip to New York City, as Light is able to pick up 59 there. They want everything they can. 6 Shades gets Rafty, but Skype trades it right back out and loops back into the zone. Skype on the edge of the mountain tries to find the jump pad, and he gets it going to the sky. Light trades out Miles on the top, so now 60 to 67 points, but Skype on 55 HP. Light pops the shadow bomb. What's he gonna do? Opts to drop down, so now Skype has to know he's down there. Skype has no mobility. Storm ticks it over. Light gets the elim credit as well, and that's gonna push him up to 64 as well, so evens it up. We're getting down to the final moment.
Depending on where this was in their games played, we're looking at 64 and 67 players for Light and Skype respectively. That potentially could have been a prevention for Skype to make it to New York City, or pushing Light all the way close enough to qualify if he has a game left. People have to realize these end games, when you see players at those point counts fighting it out for the victory royale, it can mean the difference. We saw it, I think, last week in NA East, a team just literally fighting the last second, the very last match, and the fact that one team took the win is what put them in the placement to make it to New York City.
It was week 6 duos, and it was RBK versus the Cooler Boys. The Cooler Boys ended up winning the 2v2 from the low ground, got the victory royale, and the 3-point difference from the victory royale, not even the elims, was enough to deny the RBK Boys the spot. So when we talk about high impact eliminations, high impact engagements, and everyone mattering, when the queues are closed, these are the last matches on the server, so not exactly live, but about 5 to 10 minutes delayed. you are deciding your trips. You're deciding other people's fates. And these are the moments when you need to clutch up. We've talked about before, you don't have to be the best, but you need to be better than the person across from you. And when you're dealing with the best of the best in a trip to New York City, that's still got to be really good.
Yeah. And that's why I'm here behind the desk and not at the game.
I mean, I'm so glad these guys are so good. They make our job so incredibly easy.
And it's so much fun.
If the gameplay was really difficult, it'd be hard, but it's so hype. You guys are so good. Just shout out again one time, #Fortnite World Cup, to all of the players who have competed in the arena, in the tournaments, on Saturday, on Sunday. Thank you so much for doing this and making incredible plays and giving us this opportunity.
I do want to say too that one of the most common, I think, criticisms of competitive Fortnite is typically, the shots through, kills only, almost finding that elim, gets one big hit, can't quite find the second. Exotics does pick that elim up. I was gonna say, one of the most common criticisms of competitive Fortnite is, everybody's sitting in one by ones, not doing anything. You know, it's kind of slow play from time to time. I want them to pull this stream up and watch through these European games. Let us get to NA East and NA West and just how much pressure they apply at times. We literally just saw a player run out, push through a box with a heavy snipe and push inside and get an elimination, feeding into like window edits and shots through there with the combat shotgun. Competitive Fortnite, there's tension, there's action, there's pressure applied from every angle sometimes. You really have to dig in and watch long durations of this to see all the craziness that happens, because people are elevating the gameplay every time we watch it.
There's so many nuances, and I think the best part for me is every single day there's something new somebody is doing to push the envelope.
Yep.
There's always something somebody finds that is able to do. In every patch that comes out, somebody finds a new combination, or there's something that's slightly better, as Excite has now picked up 6 elims in this match. We've seen 3 of them.
Woo!
We've now seen 4 of them going to work with the legendary AR and the shadow bombs on the rotation, getting himself over to the sides of zones and then posting up and taking shots. You can notice, again, one thing, when you box up on an opponent's material, go over and up a grid space. You never want to be on the same level or one wall away from somebody else. Make them break 2 walls every single time, always.
You're asking to get pushed quickly if you land side by side, especially if you're going to about to force a fight for a wall. Excite looking for shots here on players in the rotation, a little bit ahead inside the circle. A rocket coming in a quick close, the close off the edit. Good reset there. He's going to catch it before it blows him up. Looking back behind, player rotating the outside. He sees the silhouette, watching for the shot, takes it, gets it. Voxy goes down up to 198 total HP and 8 eliminations. We'll get a top 15 here in one more player needs to go down. Excite the forefront of the storm now. Waiting his time, trying to wait for that shadow bomb to tick out so we can box up.
This is an incredible game so far from Excite. With that pushing over, he's on a 13-point match right now. Let's look at the rest of the lobby. Artur up on the high ground. You have Miko, Lars, Wallboom, Motor, and Zyfler all on the mid-tarp. Rest of the players on the low ground. You see Noodle Kongan just get ticked over from the storm there. Motor going to begin to work top down, sitting on 41 points. Gets the headshot, knows there's white damage there. Player in the box, sees him get eliminated, but he wants to continue moving forward. That was Maxa and Excite, who both just got picked up, and Motor is completely out of builds with no elims. He has to find something or has to find a way to drop down. Luckily, a player building on the tarp beneath sees the shadow bomb drop, and he's going to use the pine tree to not take fall damage, find Go-Go's on the side, and also gets all of his mats and a med kit on 80 HP. That could be huge. You have the ability with the campfire, but he's dealing with such limited ammunition in terms of the small rounds. Wallboom goes down to Artur, and we get closer and closer to the final placement threshold before the victory royale. Motor opts to pop the campfire early. If he goes to full 100, this could end up being detrimental to him trying to medkit if we go to full heal. However, don't think that's going to happen with 90 seconds left. Antaret gets Miko, and we're into the top 5.
44 points right now for Motor. Pressure from above. Gonna have to box up and wait. See if anybody can make the move. Like you said, a big material pickup just moments ago for Motor, but not enough ammunition to make a difference. Artur on the ultimate high drops down and reconnects quickly. Very important move there. You see he places a couple services and builds his way back up. Quick shotty shot. Anthrax trying to apply pressure. Player drops in, shots on the outside, gets Lars. Gonna have to rotate into the zone quickly as that storm is ticking for 10. 3 players left and pressure from underneath. Anthrax sitting on 2 builds, 15 bandages, but it's not gonna be enough to keep himself safe unless he picks up this elim, maybe some materials. 2 big hits, can't quite find the elimination. Gonna try and get ahead of the build. Shot from above, Pressure from the third party, and Motor picks up that elimination. A 1v1 heads-up situation. Motor at a huge disadvantage in the storm, ticking slowly, and Artur sitting on enough builds maybe to apply pressure. Down to 10 now, the drop in, and finds the elimination. Only 2, but it still gets the job done. A 12-point victory royale pushes Artur to 42 points thus far.
And again, don't forget, with the prize pool being doubled this week, even if you don't get one of those qualification spots there, the money is doubled in every single one of the placements. So each one of those interactions could be the difference in a little bit of a bigger paycheck. But now we're swinging right on board over towards one of the snowy biome areas in Happy Hamlet. 38 players in this match.
I think Happy Hamlet's worthless.
And was it like, as in you don't like the drop spot,
No,
or
terrible.
as in like the town like shouldn't have ever been developed?
I think that they have outdated laws about leashing your dogs, and I also think that the loot positioning is poor. I do not like Happy Hamlet. If you agree with me, hashtag Fortnite World Cup.
All right, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. What is your favorite solo drop spot? I know Lupo's is a not Happy Hamlet, so what's your favorite solo spot? What's your current solo drop spot?
My go-to typically is going to be, okay, so there's a little pirate camp in the southwest of Pressure Plant that before the volcano went off, that's where I was consistently dropping. Recently, though, because of the changes, I really like Valhalla. I like the dance club. If I'm dropping solos and I'm not going for, like, because there's a different play style.
Competitive, super serious, ultra World Cup qualifier where you're dropping solos.
I'll
unfortunately now on board here with Skyler. CSC on 42 points. You can see him trying to edge down the rest of the lobby.
not sure about that shadow bomb. to try to push up through. Like I was saying, the player builds that are out there right now, so difficult to push through with their metal. Requires so many more melee hits than you pick out to try and break. It's going to slow you down. You take storm damage from it. It's going to put you in a worse position. You won't be able to get the forefront of the storm. But you can play it rotate. Nice from nuclear. Look for a few shot there. Drop out of the box. Looks like a little bit of delay there.
Madness on that low ground. Everyone is down there. Everything close to third. There it is. Top 15 player. They're taking down on that mid part. Hardy gets catching it. Taking down. Stay on that. Really looking down.
the heck out of them. So again, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Please let your favorite players know that they've done an excellent job. Win or lose, doesn't matter how many eliminations. All these people have a lot of heart. It's important that they know that.
Indeed, a lot of heart coming out from all of these players. It's so incredibly hard to get.
I laugh as you say, but honestly, what a perfect name to see pop up. All that being said, no mercy this week.
Weigh-in picks up it. He says no mercy this week. Indeed, it's all about those last spots, trying to find the Shadow Bomb player as he rotates through, getting the shots going off here. And this is what it's all about. Storm Surge is on for 3 more players. Weigh-in pushing forward. Lacey Sher gets Bass and then gets traded out by Rasmussen. We have to hit it with the 4 Shadow Bombs, using the first one now.
The Stream's got to be feeling good about how their players are playing thus far. Blacksuit and Skype both excellent thus far. Potentially see Vato at some point. We'll have to find out. 28 players, 26, 25. What a quick shift in player count. Points going out. 3 for everybody left on the board, down to 22 already. This rotation has been lethal for so many. Such a big shift, down to 21 now. Chip goes down, 20. Every time I feel like I say it, we're about to see 19. There's another elimination. The Toxic Donut removed from the game. Blacksuit pushing forward here, 2 eliminations. Don't want to get caught by someone boxing up, as we've seen so many times in the past. Trying to maybe land somewhere inside a box with a launch pad. Going to move forward with the Storm. Excellent position now. Has a chance to kind of wait and peek back behind. Someone is up above. He's got to be careful there. That edit going to jump up and move on through to the next section of this circle. Still not stopped. We're very close. You look at the mini-map, the blue and white cross over the circles. Once that happens, you know players are going to start boxing up and peeking back for sure. Back-to-back shots, back-to-back eliminations.
No, he only got one of them. Daryl got the other one. That could end up
apologies.
being huge. Like we said, every single one of these interactions mattering, but Blackso trying to push the envelope and get every elim anyway. Will he be able to find it? He hits the shot, gets the siphon onto Purge. All of a sudden, Blackso has single-handedly fragged his way into the top 5. 57 points, but we've seen more. He needs to keep pushing. This is the last match on the server. This is the top 5. Frenzy, Nate, Screaky, Masato, and Blackso will be closing out the European region. Blackso right now extending the time route on the Shadow Bomb. He's in your bottom right. He drops down. Nate gets taken out by Masato. Frenzy begins to work. Top down. Takes 55 fall damage. Blackso pushes in. Hitting Masato in the same box. Masato disengages around the side. Blackso desperately trying to find the shot. Needs everything he can. Top 4. Screaky goes down as Masato finds it. Frenzy continues working from the top down, but Blackso needs the space. No builds left on Frenzy. 47 points for him, 57 for Blackso. This is his chance. Can he get Lestream to the World Cup final? He's looking for it. He finds the first shot. 88. Can he convert? No. Frenzy picks up the elim, but he finds the 30 right after. Needs the elim and the victory royale. 461, but can it player? Frenzy gets cleaned up. 61 for Lestream's Blackso, but will it be enough? Courage, will it be enough?
We will find out, folks. 5 weeks of solo competition have led to this moment in Europe. The queues are done, and now it is time to find out who exactly has made it on through to the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Who will take up those final spots from the European region?
I think it's time to take a look.
Here
we
go. Ladies and gentlemen,
wow.
First off, congratulations to Andretta, who throughout the entire day was in that top spot. Crew, Skype, Light, Mongrel has made it on in. Was what everyone was wondering if he was going to do it.
Yep.
People had high expectations. He clutches in the end. Mku? Teak?
It was what they. Score out of nowhere. If you were in the top 10 and you had that come up, that's it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, guys, you know, we've had an awesome time, but for now, we're going to hit pause. Let's send it back into studio with Dr. Lupo, because I believe the doctor is in.
What a terrible, repetitive joke, Zeke, but I appreciate the effort. I'm just kidding. Thanks, Zeke. Appreciate that. Crazy games from Asia and Oceania. You love to see kind of the meta changes and how different regions present themselves and the way that they adjust their gameplay relative to everybody else. But Europe today, and as we've seen multiple times in the past, Europe has done an excellent job of putting on a show like I think few people could even possibly imagine. And to talk about that and an interesting turn of events for who ended up at the top, joining me right now is Sundown. What do you think so far about Europe?
Thank you so much, Lupo. Indeed, it was crazy. So just a couple of quick facts I want to write down. 15 points separated 100th place and 8th place. That means a 5-point victory royale was the difference of going to New York City and being in the 100th spot. That is absurd for how close it was. Blackso, in that final game we watched, pushed him up to 61 points. He was tied at 61, but because he had the victory royale and got the average elim at the end, it pushed him into the last spot. We talk about how every single interaction ends up mattering, and then unfortunately on the outside looking in, Airwalks, the last play we saw, if he had had one more build, he could have made it up the elevation and kept the storm. Instead, lost it, lost the victory royale, and lost his spot in New York City. Mitro also on the outside looking in, 2 top 15 finishes, but not being enough.
Aber du bist jetzt nicht so komplett fett, also, oder? Also nicht, dass man dich jetzt ansieht, dass du so schwer bist. Also dann ist es noch Ordnung. Auch dann.
Leider.
Du Armer.
Hallo.
Jawohl.
Aimbot, wer ist das?
Ich bin Barcelos Freund.
Ah, Gianluca. Du bist aber nicht Werner, oder?
Nee.
Okay,
Ja,
Werner
ich dachte,
kann
ich
uns
hab
nämlich nicht leiden.
Was spielt denn hier?
Der Werner ist ja Rocket League.
Ja, okay.
Krank.
Zweitbeste Spiel der Welt. Das erstbeste ist Rainbow.
Und was ist Fortnite? Drittbester, ne?
Nee.
Ja.
Vielleicht, ich weiß nicht. Ich spiele schon seit Season 1 Fortnite, du?
Ich seit Season 0.
Oh Gott.
Das heißt, du müsstest einen OG-Skin haben, wenn du Geld ausgegeben
Nee,
hast.
ich habe früher kein Geld ausgegeben. Aber ich habe auf meinem anderen Account, wo ich früher gespielt habe, habe ich den Marco Breiter und dieses Banner, wenn man in Season 1 Level 10 war.
Ja!
Ich war in
Ja.
Season 1 war ich Level 25, das heißt, ich hätte Renegade Raider kaufen können und ich habe eine Woche nach Halloween gespielt. Das heißt, ich hätte gar nicht Sky Sponsor haben können, sag ich so.
Rasiert.
Hallo, wir haben Tor. Lol, das war richtig irritierend, Alter.
Gabi.
Rocket League ist auch so gut.
Digga, redet Barcelos bei euch?
Ja, nee, der hat sich gestimmt und guckt YouTube, der lädt sich gerade nochmal Rocket League runter. Der hat sich nicht mal geholt, aber er lädt sich wieder runter.
Runterladen. Ich dachte. Kann der jetzt nicht. Ich dachte, der muss.
Ja, dann muss es so runterladen. Alter, wäre der drin, der wäre so schön.
Ach man, ich habe auch verkackt.
Und wer ist der, und was ist mit dem Matthew?
Der ist in Fortnite Random Squads. Und der hat so eben gesagt, da war so ein Engländer, der hat so gesagt, where are you from? Und der sagte so England. Und dann er so, very nice country. Oh mein Gott.
Very nice country.
Sagen,
Very nice country.
let's go Battlefields.
Let's go Battlefields.
Moin Leute, Tracks hier.
Ich bin schon groß und viel. Jo Leute, Trimax hier.
Nee, pass, was macht hier Olli hier?
Oh mein Gott, der geht auch rein. Ich bin der beste Spieler der Welt.
Eben, da war so ein Girl, ne?
Ist das so ein Autofußball, was ihr spielt?
Ja.
Ich feiere Autofußball. Ich finde das immer voll witzig.
Das ist auch hammergeil.
Wie können wir 3-0 vorne stehen? Sag mal bitte.
Ich habe 3 Tore.
Junge, du machst jetzt einen letzten Spot. Ich spiele gerade erst seit 2 Minuten.
Ich hab einen Hattrick. Das fällt mir gerade so ein. Ich hab einen Hattrick. Nein! Nein! Bro!
Guck mal, wie close das bei mir war.
Very nice country.
Random Dudes ist wieder, let's go. Random Dudes ist wieder soweit. Heute auffüllen. Mal gucken, was wir finden. Hatten schon alles. Let's go. Hello?
Wife.
British accent.
Nein, ich hab keinen Boost. Oh mein Gott.
Je peux parler français parce que je suis baguette.
Kannst du Französisch?
Ja, ich bin aus Belgien.
Ja, du bist aus Belgien?
Ja, dieser Charakter kommt auch.
Ja. Mein Freund, der sagt immer zu mir irgendwas mit Fils de pute.
Ey, weißt
Was heißt das?
Ha, ist Fils.
was heißt nochmal Fils de pute?
Äh,
Was heißt das nochmal?
Ist das nicht, du Hurensohn? Oder irgend sowas?
Ja. Ja, warte kurz. Ich muss mal was kurz gucken. Warte.
Oh mein Gott, hast du es gesehen?
Ja. Manche, weißt du, eben hat,
Oder er sagt
Elias
auch immer
Geschäft
irgendwas
gestellt.
mit Cocochon. Oder irgend sowas.
Ihr weißt, ich random. Ich war Teams auffüllen, ne, mit Franzosen. Das war so geil, ne?
Ey, warte, Matthew.
Ja.
Very nice country.
Yeah, very nice country.
Ey, Digga, willst du mit mir Random Squad spielen?
Ja, ich bin gerade hier mit Herzköpfen in der Lobby. Wo bist du eigentlich?
Ich bin Bacillus Front, ja.
Aber nicht Werner.
Nee,
Kann
nicht.
ausstehen.
Nee, nicht
Der,
Werner.
der kann keinen von It's
Der hat einen
ausstehen, der kann
Dachschaden.
generell keinen anderen. Ja, glaube ich auch. Ich habe noch nie mit dem gespielt, außer ein bisschen Rainbow und eine Runde gespielt.
Dings hier hast du keinen gerne als
Ja,
Witz.
sehr schön.
Was?
Nein! Was machst du?
Ich mag Pfosten.
Was hab ich nicht?
Ey, Ben.
Hm?
Ben. Das war so geil, ne? Ich war einfach da so random Spielchat, ne? Das war so geil. Ich rief einfach so kurz so, hi, hallo, ne? Also,
Nein.
ouais, bonjour, ouais, ça va, c'est Marie, und ich so, tu es Baraki, er so, c'est quoi? Also, die Hälfte ist Franzose.
Eben hat Elias geschätzt, wie schwer ich bin. Er hat geschätzt am Anfang 70 oder so. Danach kommt er mit 85, danach mit 110 und dann habe ich sogar noch gesagt, es ist zu wenig. Wir verkacken das, ne?
Ey, Digga,
Rat mal
warte.
von Matthew.
Ey, Digga. Hier willst du irgendwie nicht gehen.
Rat mal von Matthew, Elias.
Ich lege dir jetzt vor oder leg du mir vor. Ich schwör's, wir holen das jetzt. Das wäre scheiße.
Ja. Ah! Wir hatten wieder nur guten Anfang.
Ja.
Hä?
Ich hab keinen Boost. Nein. Nö, Alter, das kann's jetzt nicht sein. Das kann's jetzt nicht sein, Junge. Wir stehen gerade 5-2. Sind das 8. Game so verkacken? Es stand ein 3-0
Fortnite ist nur ein so Spiel.
Ein fiste Püt-Spiel, musst du sagen.
Fisse Püt. Mich gesek.
Oh, er kann sogar Französisch, Junge.
Hä? Ich kann Französisch, Digga.
Marie, comment tu t'appelles?
Un peu. Un petit peu.
Ja.
Heißt Dings da? Amber Dings da wohnt